Spokane County Sheriff is kind of like a one-man army. Sheriff Ozzie Gnovich, he is gonna take matters into his own hands here, and it's kind of the Wild West in Liberty State, just a little bit, and we have this kind of tug of war regarding the homeless and Camp Hope. If you can see my hilarious meme here that I made just for Camp Hope. It's got "Welcome Back, Kotter" on there. As soon as you see it, you hear it in your head, "Welcome back." And that's how I want everybody to feel exactly in Liberty State as governor, or as the entire continent of Cascadia. So if you are living in 2022, leadership is in this great power dynamic that you see now. And my generation, I represent the Zennial, and we're just trying to do the right thing, you know? And I'm acting governor because I'm trying to do the right thing, because I noticed for 250 years that they didn't understand the Declaration of Independence. So, hey, I volunteered to step in and do the right thing. So when you're a governor of a new state, or if you're president or a king of a new country, right? You just want to do that. You want the public to be happy. And everything in between is just nonsense. You want the public happy and content. That's what your goal is. How can we reach maximum happiness in our area, you see? And to me, that means taking care of the lowest rung of society, okay? How you treat them in your leadership matters, and it says everything about your leadership. So when you have inept leaders like Jay Inslee over there, you have a situation where there's a crisis because he's so detached from reality that he has been sweeping the homeless situation under the rug for years and years, and they handle it with alienation. Alienation is not how you handle the homeless. It's welcomeness. It's the opposite of that. So you're doing your job wrong. Not only do you fail to understand basic rights, your job, when you march with the Pink Hats, Jay Inslee, you also fail to do your job when you look after the homeless superficially, okay? You don't welcome them with fences and having their camp swept aside over and over repetitiously. You're sweeping the problem under the rug before everybody. And it's an embarrassment to leadership. It's an embarrassment to how we raise our kids at home. We're sending them the wrong message that we have a psychopathy in our leadership. And instead of sensitivity, instead of welcomeness, we are giving them alienation. So how can we make them feel more welcome? By not kicking them around all the time. And leaders have been doing that in our area, up and down the West Coast. You can see them, inept leaders, inept governors, and they sweep the crisis under the rug. They don't know how to handle it. You handle it with the most obvious solution, giving them homes. And you have a way that we do things that is all backwards. It's capitalistic. So capitalism breeds psychopathy, and it makes it so we're not as caring as a society. So what we want to do is be looking after the lowest in society to keep it stable, to keep everybody happy. Because what happens when you alienate the homeless, when you alienate the lower class and the poor? They get angry, they get upset, and they start marauding. Okay? You don't want a marauding society. You want a society where everybody's looking out for each other. Everybody has each other's back. And you can see Sheriff Ozzy can't do all this on his own, right? He might need some guidance regarding this situation from the governor. Maybe there needs to be leadership in Liberty State, where I'm governor. But you see, the problem is stonewalling. Stonewalling in the media that it's a new state, stonewalling that it's a new country technically until they petition the union. Yes, a new state is like that. I don't necessarily have to petition the union. Do you see? I don't have to join the United States if they're headed down the wrong path. And that's a reality that you all need to face. I don't have to be part of the United States in Liberty State, and I don't have to do things the way that America wants to do things. If it's a new state, it's practically like a new country. Okay? So this is just a microcosm for Americans so that they can understand how America works. I'm not even going to delve into Cascadia as a new nation, okay? I'm just going to keep it simple. Think of me as the governor of Liberty State instead of leader of the free world. That makes things more simple for you, okay? Now, what can a governor do? A governor can declare an emergency typically, and they may be able to call in the National Guard if there is an emergency. Maybe one day I would like to be able to do that, but I'm trying to teach the public about being self-sufficient, about handling our own problems, about liberty. Okay, you have the liberty to camp there at Camp Hope. And this is the big learning experience. I am the Great Reset personally, so I'm teaching you things. I'm teaching you about Chief Seattle philosophy and what that means in the West. It means I can start a new state in regards to that, and I can teach you that white colonialism and being a bully with genocide and I can teach you critical race theory and all this, okay? Now, what we need to learn is Chief Seattle philosophy right now with the homeless situation, that we all actually share the land, that there are no borders or state national borders on my continent, that the white colonialist came over here with genocide and said that he owned the place, and he drew lines in the sand. Here is this territory, here is this property line, property lines. And you all got used to that and obsessed with that and buying property and owning property and defending it tooth and nail with guns and everything. But the thing is, you didn't learn the wisdom of Chief Seattle. You glossed over that as a white colonialist and your manifest destiny. So what you need to learn now is how to share. Have you ever heard the saying, didn't your parents teach you how to share? Well, that's what I'm going to give to the next generation and the next. I want you all to teach your kids how to share. And it's something that I have to teach to the adults now. I have to teach to the older generation. 8 years after the collapse of the United States, I have to teach Americans not only that it's a new country, or if you can't handle that, a new state, that we all share the land now. Okay? So you share that land with Camp Hope. All right? All of Spokane, we share that land next to the highway there. That's where the people ended up. And you can't just bulldoze the people around and push them around all the time and say that they're not welcome. That's the number one thing that we need to correct. That one word, being welcome is everything to Cascadia. For tourism, as a new state, you want to be inviting. And what's the opposite of that? Something like a pandemic where everyone's scared to visit your area. You see? So, what you want is for those people at Camp Hope to be a symbol that they're welcome here, okay? We want to symbolize that here. We don't want to kick Camp Hope off, and you may regard it as an annoyance as the mayor. Well, then you're just disconnected with reality. You're disconnected with your people as the mayor, and the mayor's fired, okay? We need a new one, okay, right? Well, the thing about that is too many cooks in the kitchen. Why would I have a bunch of clutter regarding leadership? That's already a big enough problem regarding national leadership in all our militaries. Too many cooks in the kitchen with super weapons. So you have to consolidate leadership. You have to come together and do that as a generation. If we have something to teach the older folks that they missed, hey, it's about time that they listened to our generation, the Zennial, and it's about time that we were able to talk to them without being censored. The very First Amendment is the most critical here. The ability just to hear my voice as leader of the free world, if that's what I am, and you can all debate that. But here, the very First Amendment matters. My meme on the internet, where I get to put words in Sheriff Ozzy's mouth, having the public all invited to his house to party. Well, I mean, that makes this all funny, all right? And that's what I want. I want everyone to be able to laugh here because, hey, the half of the population has traits of psychopathy, and you can hear them talking about mowing down the homeless with AR-15s and throwing Molotov cocktails into Camp Hope. And I don't want to see that. I don't want to see the public talking like that. I want them to be more sensitive. You see, we need to make the other half of the population more sensitive. The ones that want to rule arbitrarily through force and with violence. We want to teach them about Chief Seattle philosophy, that we all share the land here in Cascadia, on this entire continent, and that may be a rude awakening for territorial Americans that are so used to being territorial. All right? So just remember, as governor, I am telling you that the people are welcome at Camp Hope, and that they are welcome even to expand into the next empty lot. It's an empty lot, guys. You're telling people that they cannot be in an empty lot next to the highway. Isn't that cruel enough that they're already next to the highway? You're going to bully them further. I mean, we have to become compassionate as a society. I can clown on Jay Inslee or any other governor in a debate. In fact, if you want to get with the times, if you want to get with 2022, I don't have any governors. Yes, that's where it's a one nation continent, and I don't have any governors. So it's like a time portal back into the past, back to where America still exists here at Camp Hope, back with Spokane County Sheriff doing this all on his own. And the thing is, we need to provide a place for these people. not just his front lawn, not just the mayor's front lawn, you know? We have to be that front lawn, that we have to be there for the people if they need a home. And so you're all invited to my mom's front lawn, where I was evicted by my own mother. After living in little town of Valley, Washington, now Liberty, where I lived for 11 years, and there I was mowing the lawn, paying bills. Just after paying her property taxes, her new husband wants to make me feel unwelcome, and says, and I quote, and he said I could quote him saying this, "Fuck the U.S. Army on my lawn." So I would like to say now to my mother and her generation and her husband, whoever wants to evict the people, evict their own children when they have a brand new family with 2 toddlers, just to make them feel unwelcome and displaced for calling you out as sociopaths. Hey, you're all welcome now. Now that I'm governor, you're all welcome on my mom's lawn next to the fire station in Valley.